The nurse's voice pierced the sterile chaos of the delivery room like a siren. "We need O-negative blood now. She's hemorrhaging. Twins are in distress." Damien Voss burst through the door, sleeve rolled up, ready to donate. But there she was, on the bed, sweat-drenched and fierce. Serena, his ex, 9 months pregnant, her eyes locking onto his with raw fury. "You," she screamed mid-contraction. "Get out! You're the last person I want here." The doctor spun around. "Who the hell are you?" Damien's world tilted. "I'm the father. Have you ever walked into a room and had your entire past crash down on you? When the love you threw away comes roaring back, pregnant with secrets you never saw coming? How do you face the woman you betrayed, now bringing your children into the world without you? Would you beg for forgiveness or walk away again? If you've ever grappled with trust, shattered by lies, or longed for a second chance in love, hit that like button and comment below. What's the biggest betrayal you've forgiven? And if you're new here, subscribe to Mr. Cael Stories for more heart-pounding tales of romance, redemption, and life's toughest lessons. You won't want to miss what happens next. Let's dive in. Hey, my incredible family of story lovers, welcome back to Mr. Cael Stories. Each of you means the world to me. Your support has built this community into something truly special. We're growing strong now, and that's because of your hearts connecting with these narratives. Lately, I've been thinking about how we show up for each other. If this story moves you, don't wait for me to ask. Drop a like, share it with someone who needs a reminder about love's power, and comment your thoughts. Say, "I'm here if you're with me on this journey." And from my heart to yours, a quick prayer. May your relationships bloom with honesty and passion. May forgiveness find its way when hearts are ready. May your days be filled with unexpected joys and your nights with peaceful dreams. Amen. You are the soul of this channel. Let's keep inspiring together. The elevator hummed upward through Apex Medical Center, carrying Damien Voss toward what should have been a routine executive checkup. At 34, he ruled Voss Tech from his Manhattan throne, a cybersecurity giant born from his relentless drive. But today, the air felt charged, heavy with echoes of a love he'd buried 9 months ago. As he stepped into the elite wing, rain lashed the windows, blurring the city skyline like forgotten tears. Dr. Harlan ran through the vitals efficiently, blood pressure steady, though he frowned at Damien's stress levels. "You're pushing too hard, Mr. Voss. Take it easy." Damien dressed swiftly, mind already on the next deal, when the intercom blared. "Emergency in OB, O-negative blood, needed stat for maternal hemorrhage." "You're O-negative," Dr. Harlan noted, checking the chart. Damien nodded, a habit from his donating days, and headed down without a second thought. The OB ward was a whirlwind of urgency, nurses rushing, monitors beeping like frantic heartbeats. "Thank God," a nurse said, grabbing his arm. "Room 407. Twins delivery. Mum's in trouble." Twins. The word snagged in his chest as she led him, not to a donation station, but straight into the suite. Machines wailed, doctors barked orders, and there, at the center, was Serena Hale. Her caramel skin glistened under the lights, dark curls escaping her cap, face twisted in pain. Even now, she was stunning, a force that had once undone him completely. Their eyes met. Shock rippled across her features, then rage. "No," she gasped, body arching with another contraction. "Get him out of here." "Serena?" The lead doctor glanced up. "Do you know this man?" Damien's voice cracked. "I'm the father." The room froze. 9 months, exactly since their last night, bodies locked in feverish passion, her whispers of love turning to moans as he moved inside her, deep and unrelenting, until they shattered together in ecstasy. Serena's sob cut through. "Father, you abandoned me." Security arrived, but a contraction hit hard. She pushed with primal strength, the first baby, a boy, emerging with a cry that pierced Damien's soul. Then the girl, strong and perfect. He caught glimpses from the doorway before being escorted out. Heart in ruins. Twins, his twins, and he'd never known. In the hallway, he slumped against the wall, memories flooding. Her laughter, her touch, the way she'd clung to him in the dark. How had he let fear destroy that? Flashback 8 months to the glittering charity gala at Apex Medical. Damien nursed a scotch amid the elite when a mishap unfolded. A waiter spilling champagne over a woman in emerald scrubs. Serena stood there, drenched, the liquid molding the fabric to her curves, accentuating the graceful swell of her hips and breasts. Embarrassment flushed her cheeks, but her amber eyes held fire. "My fault," Damien announced, stepping in to shield her from stares. "I wasn't watching." She looked up, surprise softening to a warm smile. "You don't have to do that," she said, voice low and inviting, sending a spark through him. They slipped away to a side room for dry towels, conversation flowing effortlessly. Serena, an oncology nurse, spoke of her patients with such passion. Kids battling illness with unbreakable spirit. "They teach me hope every day," she said, her hand brushing his as she laughed at his joke. That touch ignited something electric. By evening's end, he'd invited her to his penthouse for coffee. In the elevator, tension built until he pinned her gently against the wall, lips crashing into hers. She kissed back fiercely, hands roaming his chest. Inside, he lifted her onto the kitchen island, trailing kisses down her neck, nipping at her collarbone. "Damien," she breathed, as he peeled away her damp dress, mouth finding her breast, tongue swirling around the peaked nipple, until she arched, gasping. He knelt, parting her thighs, inhaling her scent before his tongue delved in, slow and teasing, then insistent. She bucked against him, fingers gripping his hair, crying out as pleasure built and burst, her body trembling. Standing, he freed himself, entering her in one smooth thrust, her warmth enveloping him. They moved together, urgent and deep, her nails raking his back as he drove harder, their rhythms sinking, until she clenched around him, pulling him into shared release. What followed was a whirlwind romance. Damien, scarred from a childhood, shuffled through foster homes, found in Serena a haven. Evenings at her cozy apartment felt more real than his luxury life. One night, after a long shift, she greeted him in nothing but lace panties. "Missed you," she purred, pulling him to the bed. She straddled him, grinding slowly, breasts brushing his chest as she sank down, riding him with sensual rolls of her hips. He gripped her waist, thrusting up to meet her, their moans filling the room. Later, in the shower, steam enveloping them, he pressed her against the glass, entering from behind, one hand between her legs, circling her sensitive spot, until she shattered again, her cries echoing as he followed. "I love you," she whispered one dawn, bodies still entwined, slick with sweat. He echoed it, but doubt crept in. Love meant risk, and he'd lost too much before. The evening had started with such promise, the kind that makes you believe in happy endings. Serena had spent the afternoon preparing a special dinner in her cozy apartment, the table set with flickering candles and their favorite wine. Her hand kept drifting to her still flat belly, a secret smile playing on her lips. She was 28, full of hope, and ready to share the news that would change everything. When Damien arrived, a bit late from a tense board meeting, she greeted him with a kiss that lingered, her body pressing close in a way that usually melted away his stresses. They sat down to eat, conversation light at first, her day with the kids at the hospital, his latest deal closing. But Serena's nerves built, and she finally set down her fork, taking his hand across the table. "Damien, there's something I need to tell you. Something wonderful." Her amber eyes shone with excitement. "I'm pregnant, with twins." The words hung in the air like a fragile bubble. Damien's face went still, his grey eyes widening not with joy, but with something darker. Fear. Deep, bone-chilling fear, rooted in a childhood of instability, foster homes where love was conditional and abandonment was routine. Twins meant permanence, vulnerability, the risk of failing someone who depended on him completely. "You're... what?" His voice came out sharper than intended, laced with panic he couldn't hide. "Pregnant," she repeated, her smile faltering at his tone. "I know it's soon, but I hoped you'd be as thrilled as I am. We can do this together." Thrilled, the word echoed mockingly in his mind. How could he be thrilled when all he saw was the inevitable end, her realizing he wasn't enough, leaving like everyone else? He pulled his hand back, standing abruptly. "This is exactly what I meant when I said, 'You're getting too attached, Serena. We're moving too fast. I never signed up for this.'" Her face crumpled, confusion turning to hurt. "Attached? Damien, we've been building something real. You told me you loved me just last night while we were—" She trailed off, memories of their intimacy flashing, his hands on her skin, bodies moving in perfect sync, whispers of forever, in the heat of the moment. "What does this mean? Are you saying you don't want us?" He paced, words tumbling out as defenses. "I care about you. But love? A family? We're from different worlds. You're a nurse, saving lives every day. I'm buried in boardrooms and deals. This was never going to be permanent. You read too much into it. Different worlds?" She stood slowly, hand protective on her stomach, tears streaming now. "You mean I'm not good enough for your high society life? Good enough to sleep with? To lose yourself in night after night, but not to build a future? I gave you everything, my heart, my body, and this is how you respond?" The cruelty in his voice stung even him, but fear drove it. "Don't make this harder. We both knew it wasn't serious." He grabbed his coat, heading for the door, ignoring her sobs. "Damien, please," she begged, following. "Think about the babies. They're yours too." He paused at the threshold, heart-breaking, but cowardice won. "I can't do this." And he left, the door clicking shut like a final judgment. In the days that followed, Serena tried everything. Calls to his office, messages pleading for a conversation about ultrasounds and doctor's visits. But Damien, drowning in regret and work, instructed his assistant to handle it. No personal matters. She was turned away, left to face morning sickness, growing belly, and endless what-ifs alone. Meanwhile, across the city in his sleek office, Victor Cael smirked over reports of Damien's recent wins. As CEO of Cael Dynamics, a rival in cybersecurity, Victor had lost key contracts to Voss Tech, his bitterness festering. "Voss is slipping," he told his team. "Dig deeper, find his weak spots. Everyone has skeletons." Little did Damien know, Victor's investigators were already unearthing his old embezzlement scandal, a frame-up from years ago that could be twisted into ammunition. Serena, heartbroken but resilient, vowed to raise her twins with love they deserved, far from a father who ran. But the betrayal lingered, a wound that time alone couldn't heal. The hospital room felt like a battlefield 3 days after the birth, sunlight filtering through blinds onto Serena's tired but radiant face. She sat propped up, nursing Liam while Sophia dozed in the bassinet, their tiny features a blend of her warmth and Damien's sharp angles. When the door opened and Damien entered with a bouquet of lilies, her favorites, a detail that stung, he looked like a man haunted, his usual confidence cracked. "Serena," he said softly, setting the flowers down. "I had to come. They're beautiful. Our children." She looked up, eyes hardening despite the exhaustion. "Our children? You have the nerve to call them that after ghosting me for 9 months? Take a good look." "Damien, because this is the closest you'll get without a court order." He stepped closer, voice breaking. "I didn't know. If I had, didn't know?" Her laugh was sharp, pained. "I tried to tell you. Calls, messages about appointments, ultrasounds showing 2 heartbeats. Your assistant said you weren't available for personal matters. You made it clear I wasn't worth your time." Guilt slammed into him. "I was scared, Serena. Terrified of messing this up, of being like the people who abandoned me. But seeing them, I want to be part of their lives." "Scared?" She shifted Liam carefully, tears welling. "I was 28, alone, carrying twins while working shifts on my feet. I named them Liam James and Sophia Rose Vos Hale. Gave them your name because I wanted them to know their roots, even if you didn't. But you don't get to waltz in now, playing hero." The argument escalated, voices low but intense, to not wake the babies. "Please," he begged, "let me make this right." "You can't," she whispered, pressing the call button. "Leave before I have security drag you out." As guards arrived, Damien backed away, heart in shreds. "This isn't over," he said quietly. "I'll fight for them, for us." True to his word, the legal papers arrived a week later. Petition for paternity establishment, DNA testing, and joint custody. Serena stared at the documents in her sister's living room, Sarah pacing angrily. "He's really doing this," Sarah said, trying to buy his way back in. Her legal aid attorney, Margaret, reviewed them grimly. "He's got top lawyers and resources. We'll fight on abandonment, but courts favor fathers with means." The hearings were grueling. Serena's side highlighted Damien's silence during her pregnancy, the unanswered pleas. But a twist emerged. Victor Cael, sensing opportunity in the public drama, anonymously leaked Damien's old scandal, a framed embezzlement charge from his early career, twisted to paint him as unstable and untrustworthy. Headlines blared, "CEO's secret passed in custody battle." Damien's team countered, proving the frame-up and emphasizing his stability, private schools, financial security for the twins. "He's committed now," his lawyer argued. The judge, swayed by resources over emotion, granted supervised visits, 2 hours weekly under a social worker's eye. Those first sessions were awkward, in a neutral playroom. Damien sat on the floor, offering toys to Liam and Sophia, their curious eyes meeting his. "Hey, little ones," he whispered, voice thick. Serena watched from afar, torn between protection and the flicker of old love. Victor, from his office, grinned at the chaos he'd amplified. Voss is distracted. Perfect time to strike at his company. His takeover plans accelerated, whispers of hostile bids circulating. But Damien, fueled by fatherhood, began therapy, vowing to prove himself worthy, unaware of the rival closing in. Unsupervised visits came after proving consistency. In a park, tension boiled over. Why? Serena demanded. Confessions poured. His foster scars, the fear that drove him away, emotions surged. She pulled him close, their kiss igniting like old flames. In his car, secluded, she climbed onto his lap, unzipping him, sinking down with a moan. I hated you, she whispered, rocking slowly, breasts pressing against him as he thrust up, hands exploring her curves. Pleasure built, intense and forgiving, until they climaxed together, breaths mingling. But trust waned. Then, arson struck her apartment. Rival business foes targeting Damien indirectly. He arrived amid smoke, pulling her into his arms. I'm here. At his penthouse for safety, vulnerability peaked. He undressed her tenderly, kissing scars from pregnancy, mouth trailing lower, tongue worshipping until she arched, gasping. Entering her gently, he moved with purpose, their bodies reuniting in waves of ecstasy. I love you, he murmured, as release washed over them. Therapy sessions unearthed his demons. He attended support groups, learning reliability. A company crisis loomed, hostile takeover, but he prioritized family, skipping no visits. Serena noticed, walls crumbling. Her dream job offer in LA twisted the knife. It's perfect, she said. He swallowed pain. If it's best for you and the kids, go. I want your happiness. But she chose Seattle. Running isn't us. Let's build together. The proposal. After bedtime stories, he knelt with a simple ring. Marry me, I'll choose you every day. Yes, she whispered, sealing it with a kiss that led to passionate night. Her in silk, him stripping it away, bodies entwining in slow, deep rhythm, orgasms building to shared bliss. Their rooftop wedding overlooked the city, vows promising endurance. Years on, with another child, their love inspired, forgiveness heals, true commitment conquers fear. What a journey of hearts mending through love's fire. If this touched you, like and share your own redemption story in the comments. And subscribe to Mr. Cael Stories. More uplifting romances await. Until next time, cherish your bonds.